Hello, it's Tuesday, I believe it's the 5th of November, here at the Case Ranch. I'm sitting here in Mildred. We got her all back together. Used her some Saturday to help haul some of the pieces of a building for the Northeast Baptist Association to the campground. We're working on taking down a building down there at Delaware, so I kind of had to get her to going. And I'm sitting here waiting. Dakota and I cut firewood logs on a place I got from Dad yesterday, and we didn't even take a loader with us. We just went with a chainsaw, went down there and went to cutting. Got some brought in here, and so I wanted to show you my log piles. I can't take any of the credit for this. I just buy them when they come in. I've got a few people that are cutting stuff for me, and so we've been cutting a lot of 8-foot stuff for one buyer, same size that I cut for another buyer. And so all that big pile there is 8-foot logs. Some of them's junky, but the biggest part of what we're cutting is palleting material, and you just cut them and cut them and cut them, and when you get to stacking them, if there's stuff that's not good enough, it goes in the trash. It's just the way it works. So this is all different species. There's ash. This is an ash right here. There's water oak, post oak, red oak. That's a red oak. That down there, that white log right there is a hackberry. I'm sure there's some other species in there. That's kind of the big end what we get though. And then here's my tins. When these come in, I'm kind of just, I'm buying from a guy if he brings them by. I unloaded them, so I can't blame this on him, but look at right here. Hey, that's the problem right there. He knew that was in there when he brought it here. I can't cut steel. Well, not in the wood. I can cut steel on its own, but I don't know. That's a big log, so I probably paid 30, 40, 50 bucks for that one. And now we're gonna have to try to cut that out. I'd have to have chainsaw work on that to cut that out. There's my little, I hardly got no 10-footers, but he's just about to finish a load of stuff for Fred. Fred's the only guy buying 10-foot stuff from me. And this pile here's all 8s. And then Rusty brought me in a load yesterday, and that's one dirty log here in front. And then all of that back there is 8s that he brought me yesterday. He's working over on the Osho River. Mostly ash, some really nice ash logs coming in right there. That log right there is nice. Those are nice size to be making stuff out of. Got a little bundle of sticks here. I had a couple of people wanting firewood, and they wanted some kindling with their firewood, so we grabbed a bundle of them. This stuff down here is all firewood logs. This here is firewood logs that come in with the other stuff. And then this pile, starting right there and going all the way back to there, and I think there's 3 logs that's got them. We had metal hits in them on the back there, but all this here plus 1 log was what Dee and I cut out of the woods yesterday. And I've kind of just got a clearing project going on, so it's not a big deal. We made 1 saw log out of what we cut yesterday, but it's hardest things getting started, because in the woods there's no place for them to go lay down a lot of the time, and that's one of the hardest things, just getting started with it. So I wanted to get me some logs in here. This little stack right here, just kicked the weeds down in front of, is all that I had sitting here really for firewood. Sold quite a little bit of firewood. This here is where that was stacked up, piled up 5 foot deep in the middle, and a pile 20 foot across. And I just got off the phone with the guy. Wanted some firewood, so lined up delivery for him on Friday. This would have been cutting it with Halverson skid loader wood processor. This is a HP 120. I've cut quite a bit of stuff with it yet already. Chain's not even loose. Has a 404 chisel or size chain on it. Cutter runs with a hydraulic motor, and once you get started with it, you can pick up one log at a time and put it on that table right there, and this table right here moves back and forth, and this arm right here catches it, and you can advance the log out here however far and catch it, back the table up, and then cut it off. And then when you advance the log again, it pushes it through this four-way wedge right here. And so that's kind of the way that works. That thing is setting on that wedge right now, so it's stuck in a little hole there. It almost looks like I bent it already, and that wouldn't surprise me. Busting wood is tough on equipment. The stuff's just not made to be busted that way, but it sure works good for firewood when you bust it that way. Now, the old firewood processor that I built, there's really nothing wrong with it, except it's quite a little bit slower, and my valves on it blowed up internally. They've got a relief valve on them, and the relief valve went haywire, and I had another problem going on. It would hang up and push the relief valve on the tractor, and we couldn't figure it out. Finally did. It was one of these quick coupler ends. The ball in the end of it had come loose, and the spring wasn't pushing it out there to where it was supposed to stay, so it'd be open, and the ball would close the hole, and so it was hanging up. But that's what that yellow box is right there. I got a brand new valve to put on it. We had never put a brand new valve on it. The thing I made it, all of the components were used parts, and all of the steel was new. And so I just kind of put that together, try to make me something I could bust firewood with, and it does. It does really good on 8 to about 12-inch logs, and it's for sale. But just because that other deal is a one-man deal, and I got one piece of equipment I can run it with. So, well, that's about enough for now. I'll see you on the next video.